It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Hey now, welcome in. It is Friday, March 3rd, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, also Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, however you are consuming Woodward Sports. If you like to do the podcast version, we'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and then you can take us with you whenever you want. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you on a Friday.
What's up, my guy?
Storm of the century.
Another storm of the century.
Another once in every 50-year storm is happening again today.
It's supposed to start at 1 o'clock, and here it is past 1. It hasn't started yet. Don't want to jinx it. And it's supposed to end, I believe, at 7 a.m. But we keep getting these things every year. So this is going to be the one to watch out for. You might want to go to the grocery store now. Stock up at Costco's. Make sure you put gas in the car for a dud. So I'm hoping it's another dud, but you just never know.
Tom Mazawey, lover of all things snow, good afternoon to you.
I swear to God. I swear.
And for those of you who don't know, Tom Mazawey hates snow.
I despise. I've been talking out loud to myself, saying how much I hate you, snow.
That's healthy.
We have heard that before.
I
We've seen the video.
That the rant and we walked together? That's funny. I was there that day.
What did we say? We're gonna get it. We're gonna pay for that February. What we said?
Yeah.
I said we're gonna pay for it. We're gonna pay for it. We're gonna pay for it on opening day again.
Yeah.
I hate you, winter. I hate you, snow. I despise you. Despicable.
Hey, JB, he sounds like when Macho Man was talking to Hulk Hogan after the Mega Powers broke. I hate you, Hulk Hogan.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
I hate you.
Hey, speaking,
I hate snow almost as much as I hate the Red Sox.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty close.
Wow.
Hey, speaking of wrestling, it's a really good point to put it in right now. We're gonna have Devon Dudley,
3D baby,
3D. We're going to have him on the show today. What time does that happen? 3:30?
It could, yeah.
About 90 minutes into the show today. Second hour of the program. Also, Jeff Risdon covers the Lions for Lions Wire. He is in Indianapolis. We'll talk to him as well. Bray, today's also a big day for moviegoers.
Yes.
Huge day. Creed 3 released at theaters. Couldn't be more excited about this. Actually, that's a lie. I'm lying.
Yeah.
I am excited about it, but I would be more excited if Sylvester Stallone was in the film. I just don't know how you can make a Rocky movie without Rocky. And I know the spinoff is Creed, and I know it's happening, but 15-second walk by the camera cameo appearance of even Sylvester Stallone sitting in his hospital bed watching Adonis Creed
maybe
fight.
even a hologram,
something. Anything. But I don't know, man. What do you think? Are you excited about the film?
I was, man, but I just been hearing bad reviews about it, and I'm just nervous. You know, you don't have Sylvester Stallone in the movie. We've talked about that already. It feels like this is Michael B. Jordan's time. And Ryan Coogler, who actually produced Creed 1 and 2, which Creed 1 was really good. Creed 2 was pretty good. He's not really a part of the project as well because he was filming Wakanda Forever at the same time. So I'm starting to hear these things. A couple of people that I know saw the movie giving me little tidbits. And it sounds like it could have been a Netflix movie. So I'm just very, very nervous and very scared because I don't see any type of movie at the movie theater except Marvel movies. So the fact that this is a Marvel, I'm excited, but I've been hearing some bad things.
That's a great point. I mean, nowadays people only go to the theater for a comic book movie or some huge major motion picture. Avatar,
which is a comic book type movie.
Top Gun Maverick. A lot of people want to see Creed 3. It just doesn't. And I saw Lee Thomas on Fox 2 today talk about it. He gave this movie a C-, which is a passing grade. which is a passing grade. If you love,
was the C for Creed? Was the C for Creed?
But nonetheless, I was anticipating it. Maz, you've been a Rocky fan and a Creed fan, and I watch it. And I have to mention, I did not consider Ryan Coogler. Yeah. Ryan Coogler made that first film. Yeah, he's the one that came to Sylvester Stallone about a Creed spinoff. That was his movie, really. And it was one of the best movies of the year. I mean, there were I think Sylvester Stallone even got many nominations.
He got nominated. He was up for Oscar.
Yeah, for an Oscar.
And lost. I can't remember who beat him, but he definitely was nominated for an Oscar. Maybe Dallas Buyers Club or something like that. I think that's actually who won. Jared Leto, maybe.
Jared Leto.
I think Jared Leto beat. But the big thing with this too, it doesn't matter how bad or good the movie is. We grew up on this stuff. Like, this is a part, like, we're going to see it. It's going to have enough action. It's going to have enough of a storyline. It's going to pull from other Rockies of the past. We know that. What haven't you seen in a Creed movie so far that you've seen in the Rocky movie before? Some element of that is going to be in it. It's going to be big action. It's going to be L.A. So, I mean, it's still going to be a good watch, I believe. It's just not going to be as good as we wanted to believe. That's where I put it.
I'm not into it as much as I was back in the day. I'm just not. I wish I was, because I love sports movies. I love boxing. It's one of my favorite sports growing up. It just doesn't hold me like the old Rockies did. I want to be held. Matter of fact, maybe I'll go back and watch the first two again. Maybe that'll get me going, and I can go watch 3. I even forgot how 2 even ended.
Two was he beat Drago's son.
That's okay. I like that.
So
one.
that's the difference
I did
between
like that one.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about the film, but I'm not as excited because there just doesn't seem to be a tie to Rocky.
Yeah. Right.
You know, the first movie obviously was the natural connection between Creed, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky.
Him feeling sorry, not throwing the towel, not meeting
Creed's
his son.
There was a connection. Creed 2, there was a connection because that was really a spinoff of Rocky 4.
Yeah.
So there was that natural. Drago and Bridget Nielsen was even in that movie. This one feels like there is zero connection to the Rockies of the past.
It is
almost
zero.
like they're trying to erase Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like.
Wrong.
I mean, like you said, it doesn't feel like it has any ties to Rocky. Like, I mean, even when it was Creed, you would see Stallone and you still would say, I'm going to see the new Rocky movie.
Right.
It wasn't even Creed until after maybe the second Creed, then it became Creed. Now you know officially it is Creed. It's no longer Sylvester Stallone in anywhere.
And I think for a lot of people it rubs them the wrong way too. And I don't think it helps the franchise when Sylvester Stallone comes out and says he's not even going to see the film. That is, and we talk about this all the time, and we talk about these we've been talking about it all week, duos that don't like each other. And I don't want to insinuate that Sylvester Stallone doesn't like Michael B. Jordan, but I don't think he likes the creators of the Creed
That's what you were saying.
franchise now too, and because they own that.
He took it from him.
Yeah, they
You know what they could have done
him.
with this one? Maybe brought in something with the Clubber Lang angle.
Some angle.
Or even the Tommy Gunn angle, or something.
Well, one of the things too about this film that I also hear is that Rockies and even the first two Creeds are built on a David versus Goliath type of matchup. There is no David versus Goliath type matchup now. This is like equals going at it essentially.
Rocky's always David versus Goliath.
I told you I watched Rocky 1 and 2 again on Saturday. And Rocky 1, man.
47 years ago.
It's spectacularly good.
But that's also the difference between like these Creed movies. These Creed movies are built on the type of action that society is watching right now. The Marvel movies, they've created so much action. When you make a movie, these Netflix movies, they have to be a ton of action to keep people's interest. When you look at the old school Rocky movies, it was storytelling.
It's slow.
Like Rocky 1 has to tell you the story of what's going on with Rocky. How is he becoming character development? Rocky 2, okay, now people kind of know him a little bit. Now he's taking the next step. When's it tied to Rocky 3 is when it started kind of getting a little more actiony, but they used to be storytelling even up to part 4. 4 was a storyteller. I mean, 4 was storytelling.
I know, but a club fighter to fight against Muhammad Ali, Apollo Creed, that was spectacular, so good, and that. Carl Weathers was spectacular and not giving a damn about the fight, just worrying about who he's sending flowers to, who's going to be ringside, Joe Frazier's going to come in the ring. That's all he cared about. He had the big Uncle Sam hat on, he had the vest on, he had the red, white, and blue trunks. He didn't give a damn, and Rocky just busted his ass to get, and all he wanted to do was go the distance. That's all he cared about.
Buddy doesn't like you. Some guys, they just hate for no reason.
That guy.
Hey, Maz, I wanted to ask you too. Today's Friday. That means yesterday was what? Thursday. Okay.
I feel bad I didn't know.
Hey, Thursday, it's bowling night.
Today's Friday. That means yesterday was Thursday. Thursday means
Tom's bowling night.
Bowling night. Tell me, did you get any turkeys?
I got a few.
You got a few turkeys.
Few. I shot 248 the first game.
Did you walk away with any cash?
We did. We hit strike ball.
Okay.
We split it as a team.
How much is that? Can we get into some numbers?
Well, it's 500 if you throw the first strike, and if you want to go for it, it's 1,000. But if you miss on the second strike,
you get nothing.
You get nothing.
It's kind of like Price is Right.
I told my guy, Mike Luceni, who threw the ball.
Come on, Mike.
He got the first one, and I voted. I'm like, Mike, go.
Run it back.
I'm like, keep going. And the other three guys said, no, we need some money, Maz. So we can't. We stopped at 500.
How many guys are involved?
5-man team.
So you got $100.
We got $100.
Okay,
we tipped the guy.
$100.
Yeah, we won another pot too for a little bit less than that, like a $200 one that we split as well. So we walked away with a few dollars last night. So I shot, I think I shot 659.
Okay,
3 games.
you're getting up there.
Yeah,
you're getting back up there.
I missed my spares yesterday.
Oh, you can't miss your
Can't
spares,
miss your
man.
spares.
You can't.
Cost me a 700 series.
Ooh.
Now here's the kicker. You know how I like to bowl on Friday nights too in the big shot league.
Oh yeah, are you doing that tonight?
I'm a sub, so they called me. Hey, Maz.
Oh, they've been hearing. See, you know what? They've been scouting you. They know you've been playing.
You know
good.
who's quitting tonight? You know who didn't want to come tonight?
Larry Foote.
Larry Foote's
You
not
on it.
Larry
What's
Foote's
in that
not
cup?
playing tonight. So he, Maz, you want to bowl? I'm like, I do, but am I gonna with the stinking snow?
Where's the bowling?
It's like it's a half a mile from my house.
Oh, you gotta go, man.
Mile
You
from my
gotta
house.
go.
You gotta go.
You
Then I gotta
go.
shovel the car out and stuff.
It's right down the
You got
street.
an opportunity to win a couple of $100.
You've been playing good too.
Yeah,
man.
you can tell Maz won a couple of bucks last night
'Cause he doesn't wanna
No,
go.
He doesn't
no,
want to go tonight.
I do
Now you
want to
know I'm
bowl. I
good.
bowl at a second, but I despise the snow.
Oh, the snow.
Despise it.
What time is bowling? Here's an
7
easy
o'clock.
remedy. 7.
7.
If there's no, so when do you have to decide by?
I told him I let him know by 5.
If there's no snow by 5, we're in.
Okay.
If there's no snow by 5, we're in. Deal?
All right.
No
Done.
snow by 5, we're in.
Done.
If there's snow before 5, I get it.
All right.
All right, there it is.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Thanks for
I love
helping
it.
me.
Get you some cash. I got your back,
I
bro.
got a bowl.
Yeah, you
do.
got a bowl. You got
Look how happy you are
Hey,
right now.
I had Ryan hits me up. He's like, "Are you watching a UAD game?" And I'm like, "No, I'm
was
bowling."
glued to this thing.
I forgot about it. So right away, I get to the phone, ESPN Plus, and I got it up there, and I'm asking the guys, "Hey, Antoine Davis is might break up." They're like, "Who? What? What game are you watching?" I'm like, "Well, it's U of D." You what? What are you watching? Not one person gave a damn.
We got to talk
what
about
I
was
want
this.
to talk about this. We got to do it
gotta
next
talk
because
about it, yeah.
I just heard something on the radio in the car that disgusted me, and I'll tell you what that is.
I saw it.
Coming up next, but first a message from Les Stanford. Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale. That's right, a trusted name for over 50 years now, has the brands Buick and GMC. And they've got a dealership on Woodward just south of 9 Mile in Ferndale. Same great service that customers have come to know. Of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, you know Les Stanford standing strong on Michigan Avenue in the great city of Dearborn. They have been doing that for over 50 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Fine new road.
Find them.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, give Alta Rental a call today. Call them at 844. Go to Alta. The 844. Go to Alta.
Hey, before we get to Antoine Davis,
can someone go out there and tell the parking
the parking situation
get the hell
here.
away from my car?
What's worse, parking?
Get away!
Parking tickets.
Parking in Birmingham or parking in Royal Oak?
Gross points up there too.
I don't know, man.
Royal Oak.
Royal Oak. Gotta be Royal Oak.
Royal Oak can get you from their car. They have like the they can get you on the meter. Rather than getting out of their car, they can get you.
And these business owners, man, they don't like that.
Royal Oak.
I just watched a city council meeting in Royal Oak.
You keep people out.
These business owners are like, please stop giving the tickets. We have no customers left.
Yeah,
nobody wants to shop here. You're already fighting brick and mortar for Amazon.
Absolutely.
And all these. People don't have to shop. They're trying to do you a favor. You're going to ticket them?
It's terrible.
And you make the machines. The machines no longer take the quarters. Machines takes credit cards. The credit card slot never works. Then you try to download the app. The app never is congruent. You never get service on those things. By the time you try to figure it out, you've been up there for 20 minutes. You haven't even gone in to get what you came for, whether it was food, clothes, or whatever.
You just give up.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'm going home. This is why Amazon Prime works.
I legitimately feel all cities and municipalities should do away with the public parking tickets.
How much are you really making?
With the public parking tickets?
Probably a lot.
Because whatever money you're making,
it's not worth it.
You're going to make less if businesses say, you know what, I don't want to do business in your city. I cannot continue to conduct business in this city anymore because we have no customers.
There's already only a few reasons to leave the house now. Don't take it the ones where you have to leave the house. To get a haircut, you got to leave the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's only a few things that you got to really leave the house for. Everybody's going to be homebodies permanently if things like this happen. Keep happening.
These hour things, what are you doing for an hour? You're only allowed to park here for an hour.
Because they know
the
there's nothing you can do for an hour. It's either over or under.
Unbelievable. So dumb. Anyway, guys.
Go check on my car, by the way, though, guys.
2-shot? Oh.
God bless you, buddy.
Sorry. Thanks. Trying to help me out there. Appreciate it. Sorry I had to do that. I wanted to say this about Antoine Davis. Kudos to you, young man. I was glued to that game last night as Antoine Davis tried to become the leading scorer all-time in college basketball history. Finished 4 points shy of breaking Pistol Pete Maravich's record, and obviously 3 points shy of the tie. He missed a three just as time expired that would have given him the tie. It was a really good look, too. Finished 7 of 26 shooting last night.
You know what? He had pressure on him for that shot. I don't know how good a look it was. They were on him.
Yeah.
They were on him.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to do it.
I watched that game last night more than the Michigan game, and I knew the Michigan game was in overtime and double overtime, and I was watching the UAD game. I feel sick for that kid.
I had the last 5 minutes on the phone at the Alleys. It sucked. I wanted UAD almost won. They almost beat the #1 team in the Horizon, and I wish they did. Those Youngstown fans, by the way, you suck. They threw things at the kids. They threw burgers and drinks.
What state is Youngstown?
Ohio.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't be shocked at anything that comes out of Ohio. Nothing
Stinking
good
Penguins
does come out here unless they go to Michigan. Here's a question about the Antoine. Oh, here you go. This is thanks to his fans throwing drinks and burgers at us. Got players telling me I don't deserve Player of the Year, and some people won't ever do what I do, so I really can't be mad about anything. I love it. Been hated all my life. This is nothing new. Detroit, keep your head up. Gotta love the energy. Gotta love this is coming from Antoine Davis after the game yesterday. Appreciate that, Fletch. Looking at the record now, they have an opportunity to be invited into the CBI. If they're invited to the CBI, the team has to pay for their own way. Essentially, people are upset. Why, I don't know, that they're paying their way so that Antoine Davis can break the record. Maz and Ryan, I turn it over to you. How do you feel about this being the course that he chooses to break, or that they break the record? Is it a big thing to you? Does it matter? Does it cheapen the record at all, or does it matter?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't cheapen the record. for me, and that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit. Driving in today, I was listening to 97.1, and that CBS Sports Minute that comes on. It's a national minute from I don't know if it was Doug Gottlieb, or I don't want to say Doug Gottlieb, but it was somebody like that. It was a national guy, not a local guy. In one of the commercial breaks, they do that, and he was so happy that Antoine Davis did not get the record last night because he thought it shouldn't never have even been in question because of the COVID year that he got. He got an extra year in college basketball because of the COVID year, and said thankfully he didn't break the record, and Pistol Pete is still the #1 leading scorer in college basketball. And I just thought, what a POS. Seriously, what a piece of bleep. I'm not going to swear for the kids out there. What a POS, man, that you're rooting against some kid for some. Records are made to be broken, man. Records are made to be. And what's the. So what if he did it in 4 years? Did you know Pistol Pete Maravich did it in 3 years? Pistol Pete Maravich did it in 3 years, and there was no three-point line. So you play by whatever the rules are at that time. You play within the rules that are allowed at that time. The 3-point. You know what? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did not shoot the 3-pointer. Yeah. You know, I mean. So you're gonna yell at LeBron because
couldn't even dunk for a while. They outlawed the dunk.
Man, it's so bad. And no, I hope they do get invited and play in the CBI because I want him and that school to take the top billing there.
This is my problem with everybody that's complaining about the record. One, you guys weren't Pistol Pete Maravich fans before this year came up. Before Antoine,
you didn't even know Pistol Pete Maravich was the all-time leading scorer. You just know Pistol Pete Maravich.
Not you, Maz. We know you know. Name for 100%. But these people complaining are all the same. They're all the exact same, and you know where I'm going with it. Look. There were no mandations on this record. He's already in year 5, and we knew it was a possibility. Now he has the opportunity to go to a tournament that he would have had the opportunity to go to last year, the year before, the year before, the year before. So what is the issue? What's the difference between one more game and the 144 he's already played? The 60 games over with Pistol Pete has already played. What does it matter? Even when Antoine Davis breaks the record, because they're going to go to the tournament because it looks good. If you're UAD, you want to go to the tournament, just get enhanced enrollment. If you're this league, you want them to come to the tournament because you'll get to see Antoine Davis break the all-time record at your tournament. So they're going to have him come. They might even split the fee. But what does it matter? Once he breaks the record, Ryan Ermanni, nobody's going to remember Antoine Davis is not doing radio shows, that's not doing podcasts. Nobody will remember. People will still remember Pistol Pete Maravich because you know the only thing that really matters about the record, it's not the point total. It's the points per game. Nobody knows how many points Pistol Pete has, 3,100 to be exact, but 44 points a game is what you know, and that's all that matters because Antoine Davis is at 28. Yeah. 44 points a game is the only thing that matters. That's why it doesn't matter if he breaks it or not.
That'll never be touched, by the way.
Yeah.
Pistol Pete was one of the greatest basketball players of all 100. Time. Best ball handler of all time, bar none. I mean, Red Auerbach, I remember when I was a kid, Red Auerbach and him would do clinics. They would do clinics, and it's amazing. Go back and look at some Pistol Pete memories. But Antoine Davis, congratulations, kid. If they would have won yesterday, they would have played an extra game anyway in the Horizon. They would have played in the semifinals. They lost to the #1 team. They played their asses off in a hostile environment. Go break the record, kid. Bring that ball back here to UAD. Put it up in Callahan Hall. It's going to go to the Hall of Fame, by the way, in Springfield. But we're all rooting for you here, man. Matter of fact, he'll be on with us next week.
That's great. Hey, one of the things I wanted to say too is I kid can play. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched much UAD this year. I hear that he's a scorer. Have not really watched him. I was glued to that game last night. He will be in the NBA next year, and he will make some team
he can shoot,
very happy. Yeah. I mean, this dude is lights out. He is really, I don't put the kind of pressure on the kid, but he's a Steph Curry type player. I I mean, he can just shoot from anywhere on the court. Anywhere on the court.
I did find out something, though, as we were talking about Pistol Pete so much. Stats keep coming up. There's a funny stat of Pistol Pete's that he had while he was attaining these records at LSU. He shot 38.8 shots a game.
It's probably the only
40 shots a game?
Oh, man.
Sheesh, light it up.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch, man. His socks would be around, he'd be drooping off of his ankles. He's awesome, man.
He shot 40 shots a game in college. We got mad at AI for shooting 30 a game in the NBA. Pistol was shooting 40 in college.
Do you remember those old ESPN Sports Centuries?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There's a Pete Maravich Sports Century. Go on YouTube.
I watched it because you talked about when he got drafted, how the black players with the Hawks wouldn't take his passes. Yep. They would miss him on purpose because they didn't like it.
His dad coached him.
They didn't like his showboating and stuff. I watched it.
Yeah,
I saw that.
His dad coached him in college.
It was reverse racism. I loved it.
Press Maravich.
No, because I felt bad for Pistol Pete. What's wrong with you guys?
Right, there you go. Not that you love or an advocate for.
No, not at all.
Oh, God.
Are they towing my car yet? Jeez Louise.
Oh, God. Guys, we're going to take a break. I am more...
That's why he likes Creed over Rocky.
Right. Guys, I am more convinced than ever.
Yeah.
I am more convinced than ever that the Lions are going to take an offensive player, a quarterback at 6. I will tell you exactly why. It's not
Don't
just,
make empty threats.
It's not just hot air. I will tell you exactly why, and I'll have the data to back it up next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment on your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You could walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch, we got JB. We're going to talk to Jeff Risdon, Lions, covers the Lions for Lions Wire, at Real GM, at Jeff Risdon. We'll do that momentarily. I am more convinced than ever that the Lions are going to take an offensive player, most likely a quarterback, at number 6, unless they trade out of the pick for some reason. And one of the reasons why I think they're going to do that is based on, one element of it is based on what Brad Holmes said about his defense. I want to play this cut for you. Brad Holmes speaking to the media at the Combine, talking about how he does not believe the cupboard is bare on Detroit's defense.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I made the statement last time, obviously you looked at where we were ranked defensively, we'd like to add more on defense, but I'll tell you what, I mean, we said at the start of our free agency meetings, I think last year we were a little bit more pointed, but I think every single position is on the table. There's not one position that we could think of, offense and defense, that we don't need to address, whether that's starting level players or looking at some good quality depth. But, and I say that with the defensive thing, I mean, we had drafted 6 defensive players last year, and 5 of those 6 guys, they ended up playing some key roles for us, but they were rookies. So, you can look at the number of, we don't want to be in the bottom 5 of the rushing and passing yards categories, but I will say the way we finished winning 8 of our last 10 and seeing those guys grow together and learn how to play winning football, I think it shows. So I don't think the cupboard's bare on defense, just like you look at the overall ranking, but I think we got some good young players that show that they can really help us going forward.
And that's Brad Holmes from the NFL Combine, and we'll get that for 2 seconds. Got to send a shout-out to the chat, a message that I just received. Ryan, Maz, I'm sure you guys will like this. This comes from Grit. As a disabled man who spends most of my time at home, I can't drive. I spend my time home alone. Woodward Sports is the best thing I've discovered in a long time. You guys are all awesome. Grit, we appreciate you for tuning in, David.
Thanks, Grit.
That's a heavy message right there.
That is amazing, and we absolutely appreciate that. Thank you so much. Before we get Jeff Risdon on, and I just want to say this about Detroit's defense. In the last 10 games they played where they went 8-2, okay? Everybody looks at the stats that the Detroit Lions played and thinks their defense sucks. Their defense allowed 19.9 points per game. If you allow under 20 points or 20 points in the National Football League for any extended period of time, you should win that football
Except
game.
if you're the Broncos.
This defense is not all that bad. Let me bring in Jeff Risdon down in Indianapolis. Covers the Lions for Lions Wire. You can follow him on Twitter at Jeff Risdon, at RealGM. Jeff, thanks so much for the time.
My pleasure being with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Hey, before I look at the Lions, I want to look back to earlier in the week when it seems like it was a huge deal with Jalen Carter earlier in the week. Now that he's back, what was it like earlier in the week when Jalen Carter left the combine and now that he's back? What was that all like? What can you tell us about that?
Oh, man, it was a crazy situation. So we didn't know the full details until we were already gathered around his podium. So when we were gathering for the podium, like there was 8 or 9 of them that are down there, and you stand in front of different guys, and they all speak at the same time. Well, his podium just swole. I mean, it was the biggest podium crowd I've ever seen outside of Tim Tebow, who remains the biggest celebrity I've ever seen. But it was crazy, and nobody knew what was going on. Is he here? Is he going to talk? What are the charges? What do we know about these things? And anytime you get, I'm going to say probably 400 to 500 reporters standing around with idle time and no real facts, you're going to get some very crazy theories that go on. And it was one of the more entertaining, weirdly stressful mornings that I've ever experienced the combine. This is my 16th time down here, and I can't recall anything like that before.
And then obviously today his Georgia teammate Stetson Bennett addressed his situation as well. It seems like off the field situations are almost every bit as important as what happens on the field or happened on the field. What can you tell us about the Stetson Bennett situation, the scuttlebutt there?
He's just got he's made some poor choices, and I think he needs to acknowledge his poor choices. He chose to get drunk with friends, basically, instead of going to the Shrine Bowl or the Senior Bowl. And the chance to, when he had a chance to show what he could do for NFL scouts, he chose to go the opposite direction. And it's very difficult for him to go through some damage control right now. Remember, he's also the oldest player in this draft. That doesn't help his stock anymore either. He's also small. There's a whole lot of things pointing against Stetson Bennett. He's basically trying to do the best damage control that he can.
Hey, Jeff, let me ask you about the Detroit Lions now. Obviously, you cover the Lions, so I want to stick with that team for a little bit.
Speak for yourself. Use your words.
Everybody else backs away. That's great.
Have been very high on Anthony Richardson. I just taking a quarterback. It was revealed that Anthony Richardson, the Lions were one of the teams that had a formal meeting and interview with Anthony Richardson.
And followed him all year.
The likelihood that the Lions take a quarterback that high. What do you read between the tea leaves, between the meeting with Richardson and what you've heard from Campbell and Holmes this week?
Well, first of all, I will tell you that I don't think we need to worry about Anthony Richardson because he ain't going to be there at 6.
I said that too, yes!
If he does what we expect him to do tomorrow night, he will be the odds-on favorite to be the number 1 overall pick, ahead of Stroud, ahead of Bryce Young. He's that magnanimous of a talent.
Wow.
I got a chance to watch him throw just a little bit. He's got everything you can want. He throws like a more accurate Cam Newton, and I know his stats don't reflect that at Florida, but you got to take into account that's the worst Florida team in a very long time. They went through a coaching change that had a lot of misfit pieces for that offense, and misfit pieces with him. He's really, really physically impressive. He's a lot smarter and a lot more ready than I think most people are, and the NFL is going to catch on to that this weekend. So we're going to be talking a lot about Anthony Richardson in Lions land, but it's all going to be moot because that guy will be gone before they get a chance to take a crack at him.
That is absolutely enormous, an enormous statement, and I couldn't agree more with you, Jeff. I thought that and said that earlier in the week. I don't think the Lions are going to have a choice to pick him at 6. What is it about this kid's tools that teams – I mean, Vegas put out odds of being the number 1 pick a couple of months ago, 100-1, and then it came to 20-1. And this week, odds on Anthony Richardson are 7-1 to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, it's definitely raising. Now, I wouldn't guarantee that he would go number 1 because I think there's still a pretty good chance that Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud also get in there. But he has clearly moved into the number 3 quarterback position, and there will be 3 quarterbacks taken before Detroit picks. Whether it's the teams that are there now or teams trading up, if not, then the Lions are certainly in a spot where at number 6 they can take the number 3 quarterback, or they can trade out of that pick to a team like Carolina or anybody else trying to come up, really. Washington, if they want to come up. Those are definite options. Honestly, so to answer your question in the last one a little bit, I think that if they were presented with the chance of taking C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, I'm not sold that they would do it. I don't know what they would do. My guess would be that they would probably trade that out and get as many assets as they could and build up the team a little bit more, and then maybe address quarterback a little bit later, which I kind of think that they're going to do anyways. That's been my read on it, and that's been the read of a lot of people that are down here. They are not just looking at the top of the quarterbacks. They're looking at that next tier and the next tier after that. Guys like Jalen Hall from BYU, Aiden O'Connell from Purdue. And I know that Lions fans are instantly rolling their eyes and thinking, "Oh my God, don't give me these guys."
Clayton Tune.
Yeah, Clayton Tune he's actually a guy who I believe they are meeting with today. I can't confirm that though. I got to talk to my Houston peeps on that. But
I like Clayton Tune.
he can play. I saw him down in Mobile. He's got some ability to him. So you're looking at a guy then who's going to be a career backup. They're a long-term number 2 quarterback. They need that. Whether it's a veteran that they bring in or a draft pick like that. But that would sort of, then you get into a situation where you have fully committed to having Jared Goff be your quarterback for not just 2023, but beyond that. And if he plays in 2023 the way he played in the end of 2022 when the team surged up, he's going to make a lot more money than he's making now, and that changes your team dynamics. So that's where you're at with the quarterbacks. But yeah, they have absolutely done a lot of work on Anthony Richardson. They saw him, I believe, 6 times. I know they saw him 5 times. Brad Holmes did go see him once. Brad doesn't get out much. He actually talked about that in his combine interview. He didn't like to get out. He likes to let his scouts do his work, and he goes about his work his own way. So yeah, there's some definite interest there. And they weren't going there to watch Osiris Torrance or Ventrell Miller or oh my God, Richard Gurridge, a 7th round offensive tackle. They're looking at Anthony Richardson down there.
So Jeff, let me ask you this then: if the 3 quarterbacks are going to go, and I believe you, Will Levis is going to go too. So that means in the top 4 picks, or 4 out of 5 picks, there's quarterbacks. So guess who drops to the Lions? Who drops to them? Jalen Carter? Will Anderson? Do we actually have a chance to draft one of those kids?
Anderson is unlikely, although it's not inconceivable that he would fall. He is the presumptive number 1 defensive pick. The whole Jalen Carter thing, nobody really knows what to do with him, to be honest with you. If I will say this, and I've said this a couple times now, if his court case is not cleared by the draft, he's going undrafted. You cannot be a GM on the hook for a guy who's going to jail for potentially 2 years. Even if you believe that he's going to be exonerated, even if you believe that he's going to get cleared, you can't have that. You can't be that GM at that press conference. Imagine Brad Holmes stepping up to a press conference after he's been sentenced to 2 years in prison. Like, you just spent the number 6 pick on a guy that's going to be in jail for 2 years, and that's not something that any GM is going to do. So the timing with Jalen Carter's court case matters tremendously. I don't know how fast the wheels of justice spin down there in Athens, Georgia, but in the state of Michigan, it would probably drag out a lot longer than the 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks that he's got until the draft. So keep an eye on that, because that's one that you got to look at. So then what do you do if it's the Lions at 6? You take a cornerback. Which cornerback? Do you take an offensive lineman? Which offensive lineman? There's a whole lot of variables there that, and I feel the derision in your voice, man. It's not what you want.
Jeff, the only guy I'm drafting out of jail is Paul Crew. But here we go. Here's a different take on this draft. You like that one? You guys like that one, Paul Crew? But he already got drafted. I probably will lose my draft pick for drafting him. 3 draft picks. We have 6, 18, 48. Which one of those, in your mind, is the most important? I'll go first. I think it's 18.
I don't disagree with you, because I think it's going to be really hard to not get a good player at 6. It is harder to find a good player that's going to be able to contribute right away at 18. And again, we don't know what position group they're. We know their needs. We know what type of players they're looking for. We just got to figure out which guys it is. But that's getting in the range where you're finding guys that, okay, this was a dude that was projected to be in the top 10 for a while and he's fallen for whatever reason, or it's a guy who's bubbled up because he's had a good week down here in Indy or a great pro day, and now he's surged up the boards when he thought he was going to be there in the 30s. Like, that's the danger zone there. So I'm with you. I think 18 is a dangerous pick, because there are expectations with it from being a first-round pick, but it's also kind of that gray area where, like, you're not sure what you're going to get.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, I wanted to ask you about these defensive backs, these cornerbacks that seemingly get mocked to the Lions with every mock draft. Are the Lions in a position to just draft for need, or did they just flat out take the best player available unless it's a quarterback that they feel like they can develop? I see a lot of these big boards, ESPN, Fox, that have, whether it's Weatherspoon or Gonzalez, like the 6th, 14th, 15th, 16th best player in the draft. Do you reach on that at 6?
It's a tough sell. So Devon Witherspoon came in a little bit lighter than expected. I think he was 187. That's a little bit on the light side. Now he's got a lot of dog in him. And if you want a stylistic Lion, that's your dude. That guy is going to go out and he will do exactly what Dan Campbell and Aaron Graham want their defense to do. So he would be probably the favorite for that. But yeah, I mean, 6 is tough. I like both of those. I like all the guys you mentioned actually, but none of those guys are Sauce Gardner coming out.
No, not at all.
And that's where you get into a range. And again, that's sort of the issue, is what do you do with 6? Because there's not anybody that screams, just take me, unless it's a quarterback. And we really don't know whether it's a quarterback or not. I cannot say that enough. But I would suspect that they would probably punt on that and try to trade back to 9 or 12 or 15 or something like that. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Hey, Jeff, one question about these quarterbacks. We sit up here and we talk, if Bryce Young is there, you got to take him. C.J. Stroud is there, you got to take him. We love Anthony Richardson, you got to take him. We never mentioned anything about Will Levis. If these 3 quarterbacks are gone and Will Levis is staring them in the face,
I'm taking him.
Will Levis is staring them in the face. Do they like him enough to, and he is going to throw tomorrow?
He is going to throw, and he will throw very well. He does have a rocket launcher of a shoulder. It's not always the most accurate, but it's impressive. And he's got a few more drawbacks than the other guys. He's older. He did transfer and transferred out because he lost his job. Just didn't play that well. Has had some schematic issues with the offense. That they changed their offense in Kentucky while he was there, and it didn't necessarily go all that well for him. It's hard to say that they would take him, again, because he's a little bit older. He's not necessarily a developmental guy. He's a guy that you kind of want to get on the field right away. he is more like, and I don't want to peg him negatively like this, like Zach Wilson was coming out of BYU as the number 2 pick for the Jets. I'm not saying that he's like that, like as a player, skill-wise, but like that's the type of talent that you're going after there. And hopefully whoever drafts will love us, whether it's the Lions or not, and it probably isn't. I hope it works a lot better for them than it did for the people taking the Mormon Manziel.
Jeff Risdon, he is live in Indianapolis covering the NFL Combine, covers the Lions for Lions Wire. You can follow him on Twitter at Jeff Risdon, at RealGM. Jeff, we cannot thank you enough. We love talking to you, my man. So thanks so much for joining us here on Woodward Sports Network.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, guys. Anytime.
You got it. He's really good. I really enjoy talking to him. I really enjoy talking to him.
Me too. I loved listening to him for the past couple of years. He's been terrific.
I think that is a pretty significant statement that he makes.
Wow.
Anthony Richardson will not be there at 6 for the Lions. Let's talk more about that.
But he sucks.
And I am convinced, and I've got some data to break it up. They will not take a defensive player at 6. I am. That's a definitive statement. They will not take a defensive player at 6. Tell you why. But next, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Oh my, Chili Peppers Tanning. Look at today, huh? Just look outside. It's Michigan, folks.
No snow yet, though.
You're not getting any sun here. The sun doesn't exist in Michigan. That's why you need Chili Peppers Tanning. 27 locations across Metro Detroit, 2 right here on Woodward Avenue. Not only do you get the cleanest salons in the D, but if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to beat all competitors by $5 on unlimited tanning and more. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. Right now, they have an exclusive offer for all of you that go to woodwardsports.com. Your fans. This is what they have for you. Limited edition Red Wings 6-pack, only $15, free shipping and handling. Classic flavors, the classic, the original, as well as the cranberry. Go to drinkitcentron.com.
So I'm not sure if history predicts the future anymore in the NFL. I think it is such a different game than it was even 5 years ago. With the salaries the way they are. Hell, the wide receiver position is the second most expensive position in the NFL now. It was not always like that.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. You know a little bit about something like that. So I look at recent history.
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions need to draft their quarterback at number 6, and I'll tell you why. If you look at success in the NFL, and if you just go back to last year in 2022, I'm going to talk to you about the 8 division winners, okay? You tell me if they drafted their quarterback or if they picked him up in free agency. You ready? Buffalo.
Draft.
Cincinnati.
Draft.
Jacksonville.
Draft. All first picks.
Kansas City.
Draft.
First pick.
Philadelphia.
13th pick.
Draft.
Minnesota.
Trade.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Trade.
San Francisco 49ers.
Trade.
No.
Well,
they
Trey
drafted.
Lance gave up 3 number 1s to get him.
Trey Lance and Brock Purdy draft.
Well, Tampa hasn't drafted. They drafted. Trash.
Well, and you know what? For the sake of the argument, it is what it is. If you want to count Tom Brady, you can count Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
I counted it as
right
trade.
Now.
Free
it
agent.
Is a trade. It is a free agent. But What I'm saying is, these teams that have staying power, you think San Francisco is here to stay?
Yeah.
Do you think the Tampa Bay Bucks are here to stay?
Probably not.
Do you think the Minnesota Vikings are here to stay?
They could be.
They could be.
Could be. Do you think Kansas City is here to stay?
At some point.
Do you think the Chargers, who made the playoffs, are here to stay?
I do.
Yes.
Do you think the Baltimore Ravens
if they keep Lamar,
even
here
if
to
they,
stay?
even if they don't, they figure it out.
Did they draft Lamar?
yeah, they did.
What about the Cincinnati Bengals? Are they here to stay?
They're here to win.
What about the Buffalo Bills? Are they here to stay?
They are.
So, what I'm trying to get at is all these teams moving forward who we believe have staying power.
Throw the Dolphins in there.
The Dolphins, and by the way, if you want the New England Patriots, perhaps. Hell, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
9-8 this year with a rookie quarterback. They were 9-8 with a rookie quarterback that they drafted.
He played well towards the end
of
of the season.
20 overall. So if you look at all these teams that have success, not just yearly success. Look at the LA Rams. The LA Rams had yearly success, but they have no staying power.
Yeah.
With Matthew Stafford at quarterback.
And no picks.
So, again, if you want staying power, if you want consistent winning in the NFL, you have to draft your quarterback, and you have to do that relatively high. The blueprint is there. You have a blueprint for having a good team here and there. Tampa Bay, nothing for 20 years. They get Tom Brady. They have a good team for 2 years, and then that's it. They're done. They're selling off. Fournette, gone.
Everybody get they're breaking it up.
The LA Rams.
It's a quick hit.
The LA Rams.
Quick
hitter. If you want a consistent winner in the NFL, the blueprint is there. You have to draft your quarterback. I believe that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, who are on 6-year deals and 5-year deals, understand that in order not to just build a team, but to build a program, to build a franchise, you understand that you have to draft a franchise quarterback in the first round, and the only way to do that is at 6. So you got to get one of these 4 guys. Period. End of story, and the data is there to back it up.
I'd rather have that and roll the dice than get a guy like Christian Gonzalez. And I like Christian Gonzalez, and I heard him speak the other day, and I like him even more after I heard him speak. I think he's going to be a terrific guy in the secondary, a cornerback. But I'm not taking him with my number 6 pick. I'm not. I'll take him with 18 if he's there, but I'm not taking him with 6. Come on, man. Don't take a secondary guy here just because you need defense. Take the best player available at that slot. I don't care if it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Take the best player available at that slot with the most talent that you could put on the field and instantly get something out of that player. Now, I know taking a quarterback is not instant. We don't need him to be instant. We have our quarterback for the next year or 2. All right? This is the perfect situation for a rookie quarterback to come into is the Lions with the great offense, a great offensive head coach, offensive coordinator, and one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. You're not getting drafted by the Texans, guys. This is a different Lions team. Take your quarterback, please.
Yeah, what Ryan is saying, I mean, if you look at what Brad Holmes has told us over the past year, whether it was when Jared Goff was balling or was after the season, he said Jared Goff's our quarterback. Jared Goff is our guy. He never said how long Jared Goff was the quarterback for. He didn't say was he the quarterback for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whether we're going to extend him. Even when he talked about yesterday getting a quarterback, he said, yeah, we're definitely in the market for a quarterback. Now, whether it's going to be in free agency, whether it's going to be later in rounds, he didn't specify what it was, but he's kind of setting you up to let you know that, hey, there's a move to make there. I'm going to go for it. And it goes back to what I said yesterday about Anthony Richardson. Look, I don't think Anthony Richardson is the guy. But I'm also smart enough to know what I don't know. I'm also smart enough to know that I didn't do all the full scouting. I didn't go to all the games like they did. And I didn't see the game the way that Brad Holmes sees it. So if he sees that Anthony Richardson is the guy and they're going to make a move for it, they're going to move up for him to get him. They just better be right when they do it. Like, if he wants to have, like, he's hit on most of his draft picks. He's hit on the moves he's made in the draft. So I'll give him that credit. If he does Anthony Richardson, it's just not the move that I would make. I think you still stay on the defensive side of things, and that's not going to have to be Christian Gonzalez. That could be one of these guys I think is going to test off the rack, and Tyree Wilson. I'm going to still stick on that because I still stand where Detroit was when the offense was balling. And they were struggling because their defense was bad.
Big Dan Davis on the WoodwardSports.com chat. And if you want to call in and tell me that you agree with me or disagree with me or agree with Braylon or Maz, however you want to do it, or disagree with us, just tell us why. Is my logic flawed? You may disagree with me that you don't think they should take a quarterback at 6, but is my logic flawed? The information that I just gave you about division winners and teams that we expect to have staying power in the National Football League, is my logic flawed? Big Dan Davis on the WoodwardSports.com chat. By the way, 313-552-6322. He says, are you guys really going to be upset if Brad Holmes takes a defensive guy at 6? The answer to that question is no.
No.
I won't be disappointed about it, because that would tell me that Brad Holmes is not interested in the player.
Correct.
Not the position. Just doesn't think that. I'm not looking to waste draft picks here. I'm not looking to waste just pick a quarterback to pick a quarterback. If he doesn't believe in that guy, like if he doesn't think that Will Levis is going to be a franchise quarterback,
then you don't
take him. You take a defensive guy.
I told you about this pick, Ryan. I'm sorry. This pick was your pick from Matthew Stafford.
Free square.
You got 2 of them. You got Hutchinson with the first, and now you have an opportunity to take this pick and get your Matthew Stafford. If you think you already have him in Jared Goff, okay, then you keep him, but you're going to pay him $45-50 million in another year. So I hope you get your team together by then, because who are you going to pay after that? Not many people are going to be left that you could pay. You're going to lose players. Remember how we lost Ndamukong Suh because you couldn't play Calvin, you couldn't pay Matthew, and you couldn't pay Sue. Couldn't pay them all. So you want to lose players, sign a quarterback to a $50 million contract.
You got anything to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Want to go to the phone lines now and bring in Noah. Noah, you are on WoodwardSports.com. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good. How are you, fellas?
Doing good. What do you think?
Yeah, regarding the draft, I mean, I would love to get our quarterback, sit him for a year. I mean, like you said, we're in great position. But if Will Anderson or Jalen Carter go, like, I don't care if there's a quarterback there. You got to get one of those guys, tighten up the defense. But if we can't get one of those quarterbacks that we're looking for, Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, I say move back, try to get Witherspoon or Gonzalez later, add a pick later in the draft, and just build up the roster like that. Like, I don't think we need to go. I know Matt said in Jig, but I'm not with that one. But best player available. But if we can't get one of those quarterbacks, I don't want to draft like Gonzalez or Witherspoon at 6. That's too early. But trade back, get one of those guys, and then figure it out from there.
Totally agree with everything you just said there. Totally agree with everything. And thanks so much for the call, Noah.
Thanks, Noah.
Hopefully you like the show and tell a friend about us. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Noah.
Go blue, baby.
Go blue, baby.
Go
blue, baby. Totally agree with that. I think that's a fair assessment. If Anderson or Carter are there, slam dunk, running to the podium.
Yeah.
But outside of getting a quarterback there, I am doing everything I can to trade back. I'm not taking a corner at 6.
It's just too much. It's too much discrepancy at that pick. Once you move past Bryce Young, once you move past C.J. Stroud, once you move past Jalen Carter and Will Anderson Jr., and once you start getting to the Miles Murphys, the Tyree Wilsons, the Witherspoons, the Christian Gonzalez's, Skoronski's coming up there. Like, once you start getting to those people, there's such a drop in talent. There's such a drop in what I believe the immediate impact would be for that player for a franchise. And that's what I think is making the 6th pick so hard. Sometimes it's easy to say, all right, well, let's just take the best talent there at the 6th pick. What the best talent there at the 6th pick is a complete drop-off from the talent that you wanted the 6th pick or what you're looking to give with your team. I agree 100% with Noah. That move back might be the key, especially if you want to get your offensive side of things or get your DB late. That move back might be the biggest key at the 6th pick overall. It's a tough pick, man.
If 4 quarterbacks go in the top 5 picks, that means Jalen Carter or Will Anderson's
one of those
there.
guys fall to you.
Okay, one of them is there. Or even Tyree Wilson. Or this other guy that ran a 4.6 yesterday. What's his name?
No idea.
Canty.
Oh, Canty, yeah.
Canty. Okay? From Pittsburgh. The kid from Pittsburgh.
I watched the tape.
That
I don't care
kid's
about
moving
the
up the charts as well.
Olympics.
I'm just saying,
Olympics.
don't waste a pick on a cornerback that's a number 16th or 18th ranked player. I know you need a cornerback,
man. Talking the underwear Olympics. I was out there in just
tights.
tights.
You need a cornerback? Go get one in the free agency.
It's aerodynamic.
WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley, 3D, going to join us in about 25-30 minutes from now. Looking forward to that conversation. Coming up next, you're going to hear what Dan Campbell has to say about DeAndre Swift and giving up on him. Plus, where will Bijan Robinson land? All that and more. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing:
stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what's important to you stays safe. Call this number right here: 1-800-STAY-OUT. 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Oh, Big Boy. Sorry, folks.
It's okay.
Here I am. Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy, and guess what? It's Friday. You know what Friday means? It is the all-you-can-eat fish fry on the Friday night, the fish fry buffet. So get on down there, catch it while you can. Don't forget, try out some of these other favorites during the Lenten season: the shrimp Alfredo, the shrimp stir fry, and the brand new fish sandwich. Catch them all at your local Big Boy.
You know, just to recap, top of the hour here, hour number 2, if you are just joining us. I don't think history is necessarily a great predictor of the future anymore in the NFL and how to project whether your team has staying power. Hell, 20 years ago, the running back position was...
It was it.
The game changes, and how you play the game changes. And now, if you look at the division winners from last year, 6 of the teams drafted their quarterbacks that won the division, and those 6 teams have staying power moving forward in the NFL. The 2 teams that won a division, Minnesota and Tampa Bay, who have not drafted their quarterback. Tampa Bay, of course, selling off. They're essentially a good year or 2 run with Tom Brady. And then, of course, Minnesota. Say what you will about them, but many people expect the Detroit Lions to take over that division. And so I think it's so important for the Lions to draft a quarterback at 6 and kind of join the party here, because there's the haves now and the have-nots. I want to go to the phone lines real quick, bring in Scott, who's been listening to the conversation. How you doing, Scott?
Not too bad, Ryan. Not too bad. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for the call,
Scott.
Not a problem. Honestly, I would rather them go and get a defensive player with the 8th overall pick, whether it be Carter, the gentleman from Cleveland, or the gentleman from Pitt that they're all comparing Aaron Donald to. But I also want them to go and get Anthony Richardson with the 18th overall pick, because they need to have a secondary quarterback that they can fall back on if Goff gets hurt.
I mean, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, too. I mean, I want Anthony Richardson and Jalen Carter, too. I mean,
that's the picks.
You want Anthony Richardson and...
He wants it all.
You want Jalen Carter.
Scott is a man that knows
what he wants. The Vikings last year and jumped up, 12 picks to get J-Mo? I mean, it could happen again.
Scott, I mean, it could happen, absolutely. I mean,
I like the way this guy thinks.
If Brad Holmes pulls off Jalen Carter and Anthony Richardson, Scott, we will call you back.
We'll throw a parade,
and we will have you in here in the studio with us for 2 hours the day after the draft. Love you, bud. Thanks for the optimism, man. Thanks for the optimism. Appreciate it, bud.
Great stuff.
Seriously.
Why not?
Guy wants all the guy wants everything.
Get it up. Throw Bijan Robinson there too. You get him too.
And I apologize for the reference, but it was the best I could do at the time.
Yeah, and I was laughing at that. I think it's one of those things with Detroit fans where I think when it comes to the quarterback situation, we're talking about whether it's, can you get a chance at one of these quarterbacks, one of these four, not Will Levis, but one of these four. I think Detroiters are just so scared of wasting the draft pick on a quarterback. I think they can see getting a defensive player and it not working out and being like, all right, well, you know what, the defensive player scored on this scale. We thought that he could be that. Even the analysts were talking about something about a quarterback is just not rubbing the Lions fans the right way. They're like, but what if it's a bust? But what if he doesn't work? But what if that's a lot of the Detroit Lions fans, and Jared Goff isn't here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to figure it out at some point.
Let me give you just a little side note here. Just in regular life, if you just sit around and you don't really go for what you want,
life passes you by.
You're not going to get it. I'm just going to take you to the bowling alley for a minute. For the last few weeks, I've been bowling like a wussy. All right? I haven't been throwing the ball good. I have not been throwing the ball good. I've been babying it. So last night, my buddy looks at me and says, Mass, just throw the damn ball like you throw it. So I got up there, and I threw the damn ball like I know I could throw it. And I wasn't afraid to throw it. I wasn't afraid to throw it out near that gutter. I'm not going to drop it in the gutter. And I scored high.
Yeah,
I scored high. If you sit on your ass and you just work at a place that you don't really like, you're going to be there the rest of your life and you're going to bitch and complain. Once in a while, you just go for it. What the hell?
You throw a 700 series.
I'm throwing a 700 series tonight in the freaking snow. I'm going in the snow. I don't give a damn that it's snowing out. I'm going to go to the alleys tonight, and I'm going to throw a 700-plus series tonight. What do you guys want? What are you pussyfooting around for?
Listen,
draft a freaking player, a real football player. Go out there and get somebody that's going to make a difference somewhere down the line, not just someone you just plug in. You got 6 rookies on defense already. Go out and get a couple of free agents to plug your holes, and go out and get your big-time players. Get your quarterback, man.
I think this is an interesting draft and free agency. I think it's interesting because you can skin this cat a lot of different ways. Like, you can skin it a lot of different ways, man. You can draft, you can trade some picks, move back in the draft, get a player at 9 or 10 or 11, make a move like that. That can work for you. You can draft. Let's say somebody falls to you at 6. Let's say somehow Anthony Richardson falls to you at 6. That can work too for what the Detroit Lions want to do. You can get Miles. You can get one of these guys. You get Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson can test off the charts, and he can be a player for you. There's so many different ways you can get the player in free agency, man. A lot of defensive players free agents. There's a lot of DBs out there. There's some linebackers out there that we've talked about. There's a lot of ways that the Detroit Lions can have some success in this offseason. I don't think that we should get bogged down into one particular way. All ways are open. I think everybody needs to be open. Like, this is the Lions are in a good situation. See how they came off last year, 8-2. You see how they were on defense. Maz loves the young guys that they've drafted in the last 2 drafts. You see what Aiden Hutchinson was able to do. You see the offensive side of things. You heard Brad Holmes. We're not giving up on Swift. The Lions are in a really good place to make some moves, and I think they got a lot of different ways in which they can go and make these moves.
Can I get rid of the people that keep writing Malik Willis in here? I think I'm going to block them. And the next time I see a Malik Willis comment,
how about block?
You guys are going to be on the block party.
About the block.
I am sick and tired of the Malik Willis crap. Enough
block
with
party.
The Malik Willis.
Let's go to Snap God. Now, I got to ask, first of all, do you come out of the womb as Snap God, or is there a real name behind it?
I challenge you. My snap game is tight.
What does that mean, Snap God?
You're talking about snapbacks.
I'm a rap artist from Wisconsin.
Okay.
A lifelong Detroit Lions fan. I love the show. I listen to it every day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys are awesome. And other shows too. But as far as quarterback, I do think they need to grab a quarterback this year at 6. Because like you guys said earlier, you can't pay everybody. You're going to have Sue coming up. You're going to have Rock coming up. You got to pay him. So many other young guys coming up. They got to pay. And I like Will Levis. I think that
You know, he got the tools to do what he got to do. He passed the 65% this year. He don't have that much talent. I don't want to make excuses for him and everything, but he got what it takes.
I definitely appreciate that call. Look,
until he said Will Levis.
Well, no, because look,
I'm joking. I'm just joking.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, even so, and thanks so much for the call. Even so, with Will Levis, like, I do think talent around you either elevates your game or does something. I think Will Levis is your Malik Willis.
No,
that's just it. Will Levis is your Malik Willis. I want Malik Willis to be all pro. I need Malik Willis to be an all pro. You need Will Levis to be all so butt. Bad.
all butt squad.
Yeah, like, right.
I'm just with him. I think nowadays more than ever, quarterbacks have so much talent, and quarterbacks are transcending teams. Like, you got guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, like, playing down by 12 in playoff games and laughing about it. Like, you got guys just transcending games, taking over. Shoot, you can even add Jalen Hurts into that mix now. And what he did in the Super Bowl, you got Justin Herbert and what he was able to do with a terrible offensive coordinator his first 2 years in the NFL. 5,000 yards with the worst offensive coordinator in the league. You got all these guys now. Everybody's getting nervous. Everybody's getting scared. Everybody wants one of these guys. So now they're just promoting any of these players. If a guy fits the mold, okay, well, here's a guy. He's transferred 2-3 times. He must be good. He's 6'5". He got a rocket launcher arm. They're now just hoping and praying that these guys are the ones. They were so bogged down in last year's NFL draft that there was no quarterbacks, that they're now forcing this to be the quarterback class, and this just may not be the quarterback class. But that's the 2023 we live in. Everything is about the quarterback, trying to find a Patrick Mahomes, trying to find a Justin Herbert, trying to find a Josh Allen, trying to find Lamar Jackson. What if they just ain't it?
WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley going to join us in just a little bit, but I will play this soundbite for you coming up next. Dan Campbell talking about DeAndre Swift and where will Bijan Robinson land. It all coincides. We'll get to that next, but first a message from Custom Health Centers. Whether it's 20 pounds or 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers has the solution for you. How about this? Down 18 pounds
Look
now
at you. Look
from
at this
when
guy.
I started. Custom Health Centers was down today at my weigh-in, and I was so happy. The lowest weight I've been in quite some time. Many, many years, to be honest with you, since about 2017, and I couldn't be happier. Custom Health Centers, it takes the willpower out of weight loss. All you have to do is give them a call. It won't cost you anything to pick up the phone and call them and just see what they have to offer. 844-789-THIN. Call this number again, 844-789-THIN.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
He's a very talented player, and he's one of those guys that can take it to the house anywhere on the field. And he works. He wants to get it. He works hard in the classroom. And, you know, we thought we had a recipe going into the year, and it didn't work out. He got a little bit banged up, and then by the end of the year, he started to feel better and his production went up. So, listen, we're going to start all over from scratch again, man. Let's find another way to see if we can help him stay on the field, you know, and I already know he's doing that for himself, so we've got to do that on our end. What can we do better by him? Can we? because he's too talented. He's too talented to not have out there. He's an explosive athlete.
Thank you, Lions Twitter, for that. That was Dan Campbell at the NFL Combine talking about DeAndre Swift. Look, a lot of us talk about should they move on from DeAndre Swift. Is it time to get a pick for him, and what would that pick look like? The one thing you can say about Dan Campbell and what you've seen him do with these players, he makes sure the players are going to be at their best. He gives them all the time they need, the training staff and everything. Because you've seen him sit DeAndre Swift. Sometimes we're like, wow, should he be playing? You heard him talk about Jamison Williams or other players, Frank Ragnow, that have been injured. So the good thing is that he is going to take care of DeAndre Swift. Ryan, I was the guy that said DeAndre Swift, if you can trade for him, this was a month ago, I said, if you can trade for him, trade for him. I mean, would you get a fourth pick overall? I mean, not a fourth pick, a fourth round pick? Sure, get the fourth round pick. Go after running back somewhere in this draft. Tajay Spears is a guy I like, has the Alvin Kamara frame for me. Jamel Gibbs is another running back out of Alabama is another guy. I sent sign Jamal Williams. Where are you at with this DeAndre Swift thing? Because this is taboo. Where are we at? DeAndre's entering year 4. Now, he's no longer a spring chicken. He's year 4. He's been injured every season he's played. Every year we think it's going to be the year that he turns into the guy that we saw at Georgia. Ryan Ermanni, where are you at with DeAndre Swift?
I love him as a player. I think the talent is unmatched. If healthy, he is one of the top 5 or 6 running backs in the National Football League. But you will always have to have insurance on him. That is why I'm so high on taking Bijan Robinson at 18, and I am. Looks like you'll be there.
Yeah,
I mean, can you imagine the Detroit Lions, the offensive line that they have, the wide receivers that they have? If Jared Goff is going to be your quarterback, you have to be able to run the football.
Yeah.
When DeAndre Swift does not play, your team loses. When DeAndre Swift plays, your team wins. That element there is just so crucial. DeAndre Swift is almost not. It's a stretch of a comparison, but DeAndre Swift is almost as important as Jared Goff. If Jared Goff goes down, you have no chance to win the game. If DeAndre Swift goes down, you almost have no chance to win the game.
The interesting thing about it, too, and this is something that I'm starting to wrap myself around, this is a concept I'm starting to embrace, Maz, is maybe DeAndre Swift doesn't have to be the starter.
Yeah.
Like, maybe DeAndre Swift doesn't have to be the guy that we thought he could be. Maybe he doesn't have to be the guy that has 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Maybe he doesn't have to be the guy that's running for 1,500 yards a year. Maybe he's a guy that's still electric and special, but he's only getting 10 touches a game, 11 touches a game, 15 touches a game. You look at teams that have success. A lot of these teams have 3 running backs. I mean, going into the game, the Philadelphia Eagles had Gainwell, Boston Scott, and they had Miles Sanders. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They got Pacheco. They got McKinnon. Like, they have multiple. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They have multiple backs. Maybe this is a situation where you draft Bijan Robinson, keep him anyway, and still use him because he catches the ball well out of the backfield. He runs the screen exceptionally well. Some of those handoffs, those delayed screen handoffs they run with him, the guy is still electric. And if he getting injured is the problem, Ryan, maybe you limit his touches kind of like they did last year and go into the season like, hey, he's not going to be our guy. Maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you have to adapt.
He's a monster back.
Yeah.
When he's in, your team is that much better. But every single time he goes out of bounds or gets tackled, my heart is in my throat.
You're cringing.
It really is. It truly is. And I remember last game against the Packers. He had a good play, and I remember he tweaked his knee. And I'm like, uh-oh. He did come back in that game, and that happened to be the last game of the year, so we really don't know if anything really happened to his knee on that. But I remember the play. And I remember when it happened to who was our back that we drafted, and he was going to
Javid Best?
Kerryon Johnson. Yeah. I remember against the Packers.
Yeah,
he goes to go out of bounds, and he takes a wrong step, and bam, there goes the knee. I don't know what it is, but the last few backs that the Lions have drafted have always been injury prone and have not lasted. I'll take a chance on Bijan.
It's Ford Field.
I would. I don't know. They got new turf now, though.
Here's why.
Brady Bush got hurt
again. I mean, I'm just trying to come with numbers and facts. I talk about DeAndre Swift being a top 5, top 6 running back in the National Football League. Derrick Henry, you ready?
Yeah.
349 rushing attempts. Josh Jacobs, 340 rushing attempts. Nick Chubb, 302 rushing attempts. Saquon Barkley, 295 rushing attempts. Dalvin Cook, 264 rushing attempts. Christian McCaffrey, 244 rushing attempts. Kenneth Walker, 228 rushing attempts. Do you know how many attempts DeAndre Swift had last year?
142.
99.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't depend on that.
Can't.
I love DeAndre Swift.
Me too.
But you cannot depend on him.
Nope.
That's why I take Bijan Robinson at 18. And I'm sorry if that offends you.
There are odds, by the way, we could put up on who's going to get Bijan.
Let's do that.
Lions
Bijan
are on
Robinson.
this.
I mean, again, guys, like some of the top backs. There you go, DeAndre. Okay, so the Lions are they're on the list.
Yeah.
In DraftKings, odds to get Bijan Robinson, and they're there at plus 1,200, 12-1 essentially, 4-1. The Ravens, Dallas, 5-1.
You see Dallas on there? Zeke's going to be gone, and Tony Pollard is hurt. I don't know if they'll probably franchise him, but Bijan is a good fit in Dallas because Zeke's gone.
It's funny. I think the team on there is going to get him as Buffalo because I think you add Bijan Robinson to Buffalo. Like, I think they instantly turn around. But look who's on here. The Eagles are number one, and I just talked about Eagles have 3 running backs.
Right.
Now, we know they're not signing Miles Sanders back, but they still have Boston Scott. They still have Kenneth Gainwell, and now they're going, they got them the number one odds to get Bijan Robinson. When you're great at something, which Ryan has been saying lately, make it greater, and that's what they're doing. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles.
It is something now. Philadelphia has picks 10 and 30. Will they pick him at 10? I don't know about that. I think they go DB at 10 because they have their defensive backfield minus
they'll
Slay
get one of those DBs at 10.
is all up for free agents.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, will he last to 30? I don't think so because I don't think he gets past Buffalo. Where does Buffalo pick? They're in the mid-20s.
Yeah.
27, 28.
Yeah.
Dallas at 26. I mean, the Lions would have the best opportunity to take him at 18. I think that's when you start looking at the Bijan Robinson sweepstakes. Will it be 18? Or, is that a situation if you're not going to take Bijan Robinson, could you trade out of that pick?
Bills don't pick to 27.
Yeah, Dallas at 26, Bills at 27, Philadelphia at 30. Could, if one of those 3 teams want to trade up to 18, could you
make something happen?
A first round somewhere?
I'm pretty sure. Watching the draft now, let's take a step back from all the serious talk. Watching the draft now, it's so funny because you just hear about these deals. They just sound so made up and make believe. Mm-hmm. Like when you hear a deal now, it's like, yeah, we give him our first round in 2025, our first round in 2026. We give him a compensatory pick. It just sounds like make believe. Like this is it's fake madness. It's crazy.
I mean, because
it's just fun now.
I think so many people too realize that if you're Dallas, you're in go for it mode. If you're
every year.
If you're Buffalo, you are in go for it mode. I mean, so if you have to give up a pick, and we've seen Tampa Bay, we've seen LA be successful in giving up picks. Now, I think Denver will be successful this year, giving up all those picks to get Russell Wilson. So we have seen it happen.
Look what KC did to get Mahomes. They saw that guy and they traded all the way up to get him.
Buffalo's window is closing. And that's
why they go for it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah, you're 100%. Their window's closing. I know everybody's like, what? Josh Allen, blah, blah, blah. Bro, they were in the AFC Championship game 4 years ago. They were in the second playoff 3 years ago.
They're fading.
They're fading. And the other thing about it is Josh Allen, what makes them so special is Josh Allen, right? His ability to run with the football, jump over, his athletic ability, not to mention his big arm. Well, what happened last year? He's starting to get nicked up. UCL on his elbow last year. 2 years ago, he got banged up on his ankle. Like all that running, it slows down. And your coach doesn't have an identity for that team yet. The Buffalo Bills are the bubble team on the NFL. Like they're the team on the hot seat, 1,000%. It doesn't last forever. You have a window, Ryan. Like San Francisco 49ers, that's another one. That window's going to be ending soon. Like those windows close, man.
Because windows close because either you have a quarterback that is not elite, or
you don't have one.
You just have too many people to pay. That's how that window closes. Guys, we're going to take a break. Scheduled to be joined by Devon Dudley. We'll hope that works out. If not, we'll go around the NFL. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Looking for a way to elevate your dinner? Choose Fairway Packing Company. Family owned and operated since 1956. You can try their Burrata blend burgers, the award-winning Chop House steaks, or you can impress your friends with a dry-aged Wagyu tomahawk steak. How about the pork chops, too? Having those for dinner tonight. See why the top chefs in the country choose Fairway. You can visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods, or you can order online. They ship anywhere. Visit fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Hey, it's Maz for Cousins Maine Lobster. The best lobster on the East Coast is right here in Detroit, USA. And Detroit, I'm going to tell you about this. Cousins Maine Lobster's food truck. They're up for Food Truck of the Year, and you can help them win, and they're going to help you try to win some money as well if they win. So here's what you need to do. Make sure you go vote for them today at freep.com, the best of Detroit. And follow them on Facebook, facebook.com/CML for Cousins Maine Lobster Detroit. You do that, you go vote for them. If they win Food Truck of the Year, you have a chance to win a $300 Visa gift card. Just click on that QR code right above my head, and that's how easy you can vote. Why don't you vote again now, guys? Get back on there.
I just did.
Click on it again.
Already
did. It takes you right there. Click on it. Vote for Cousins Maine Lobster. Trust me, they deserve it. CousinsMaineLobster.com.
It's amazing how easy that is with the QR code. So, I mean, it's so great. I did that and voted every day this week that we've been doing that. So thanks so much to Cousins Maine Lobster for that in their partnership here at WoodwardSports.com. Tom Mazawey, we are going to go around the NFL. So much news to get to. I will say before you get to the Aaron Rodgers situation, I heard before I came in today, Adam Schefter was on SportsCenter, and Adam Schefter said there are really two options in his belief for Aaron Rodgers, and only two. Now, he's not reporting this. It's just his belief. It is either retirement or play with the Jets. He does not envision the Green Bay Packers wanting him back, and he knows that.
Wow.
So he does not believe
I hear the Jets are out.
He does not believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to play again for the Green Bay Packers. It's Jets or retirement.
Really?
That's what he said.
I heard today.
That's what he believes. He's not reporting that.
Right.
It's just his belief.
It's his opinion.
It's his opinion.
It's his opinion.
Belief, opinion.
It's not going to be the Jets.
I went on Colin. I saw Colin again today, and Colin there's another team in the running. Matter of fact, I saw it the other day.
Frank Reichenbach.
The reason I didn't put it up is because I didn't think they're going to deal in the NFC, and that's the Carolina Panthers with Frank Reich. They are very interested in getting Aaron Rodgers over to Carolina. They got a decent nucleus. We've been talking about it, Braylon. Very good defense, decent offensive line. They got draft capital, nice place to play, small market, just like Green Bay. But with Green Bay, if they're going to hold out and say we're not trading into the NFC, then they're not going to go there. But if he does go there, they'll win the NFC South by daylight. They will dominate the NFC South. There will be a playoff team without, just the way they are now, they're a playoff team if Aaron Rodgers goes there.
More so than if Derek Carr goes to New Orleans?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that's a formidable team if Derek Carr goes to New Orleans?
I think it's a decent team. How about you, Bray?
It's a good team, but if Aaron Rodgers goes to Carolina Panthers and what they're building down there, they have a lot more draft capital than people think. We keep talking about their defense last year. Like, their defense was really good. Detroit Lions saw that firsthand. Their running game is well, led by Chuba Hubbard. Also, DJ Moore is a wide receiver. That could be something for Aaron Rodgers. That could be something. You look at a guy like Frank Wright. You look at the last 4 quarterbacks that he's had the best season out of his quarterback, whether it was Andrew Luck, whether it was Carson Wentz, whether it was it'll come back to him. Anyway, these quarterbacks have all had their best seasons. It was Nick Foles and even Matt Ryan last year to a certain extent. So the guy definitely knows what he's doing from the quarterback spot. I think even Green Bay, look, I said he was going to go back to Green Bay. I knew he wasn't going to the Jets. I just knew he wasn't, because you can't give up all that for an enigma, for a question, or for an inconsistency or something you really don't know how it's going to play out. And I just saw it as that. I thought he was going back to Green Bay. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But if Carolina is dealing in money, if Carolina is dealing in draft picks, if Carolina is dealing with the thing where nobody else is offering this and you have your last-ditch chance, and you keep telling us, hey, you know what? No, Jordan Love can't be a starter in the NFL. Well, you know what? Prove it. Send him to Carolina and shut up. Send him to Carolina because it's on you. He doesn't have a no trade clause, so you can send him there and he can retire. So, but then I guess to Adams' deal, will he retire?
That's I don't know if
he seems spiteful like he would.
If there was ever somebody to leave $116 million on the table, it feels like Aaron Rodgers would be that guy. Man. I don't know how you do that. I don't care how much money you have. To say no thanks to $116 million, I just don't know how you do that.
I think. Go ahead, for you.
I was just going to say, Bray, I agree with you about this Jets thing.
Yeah.
Because if you are the Jets, it basically goes against everything you're really trying to do.
Yeah.
In terms of, you've got all these young players. You're doing it the right way. You just don't have the quarterback. And maybe there's a stopgap somewhere along the way, but you do have the 13th pick. Is there somewhere that you could trade up with Detroit even to go draft another quarterback? Zach Wilson's not working out. But would you consider that aspect of it, to draft a quarterback to have staying power? Because Aaron Rodgers is going to give you a 1 year max. And even after that, are you in a position to win a Super Bowl next year with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know, man.
Your stopgap, if you're the New York Jets, is Derek Carr. You've already told him he could be a Hall of Fame quarterback, which I think is blasphemous. But you already told him that there's your guy. As it relates to Aaron Rodgers, Ryan and Maz, doesn't like to not have control. If you know anything about Aaron went to a JUCO school, which means he did not have control when he came out of high school. Then he goes to Cal. Then he thinks he's going first picker overall. He goes 24th overall. He's in the green room forever, Ryan. He did not have control over getting drafted first, which Alex Smith did. So now that he's gained control in Green Bay, he is never letting go. The feeling of having control. And to your point, or to Adam Schefter's point, if they send him to Carolina, that's not having control. So you know what he's going to do? Aaron Rodgers is going to walk away from that $116 million because he will never not be in control again. And that's all that his career has been based off of, Ryan. He's been in control.
Hard to argue.
Let me give you, for you Jared Goff fans out there, and we are fans as well, but for you guys that want him as your quarterback for the future, beware. Daniel Jones' contract is coming up, and he is very far apart from the Giants. He wants over $45 million a year. Danny Dimes wants $45 million a year.
It's really tough, man.
And he should. Mm-hmm. And he should. This is from Dave Kleiman. Update: the Giants are nowhere near quarterback Daniel Jones' asking price on the new contract. The team set a certain number they believe Daniel Jones is worth, and Jones can't disagree. Probably that number is 35, and Daniel Jones is like 45. And I agree with him. When you put yourself, it doesn't matter. When you put yourself in a situation, it doesn't matter that it's your fault, that that's what the market is. It doesn't matter that that's what it's gotten to. That's where you are. That's where they are. make a move. If I'm him, I'm doing the same thing.
Another Giant note, there's a guy that's available for you Lion fans. You know who it is.
Mr. One Touchdown?
It's Braylon's favorite wide receiver, Kenny Golladay. And his numbers, just for the hell of it.
Can't say that Braylon doesn't know what he's talking about. The wide receivers, because before this even happened, before he even put a jersey on for the Giants, he called it.
I mean, you just know when you know, especially my position. Like Kenny Golladay is somebody that didn't deserve that $12 million, that $20 million, and then you're sending him there. You sent him at a time where it just was all haywire, man. It was all haywire. So we knew this was coming. Sorry it didn't work out for him, but now it's going to be an interesting thing. Where does he go now? Not here.
He made $35 million
in 2 years
for 43 catches
and one touchdown.
That was at the last game of the year where it didn't even matter.
The best thing we did is Woodward Sports in the last couple of days. They posted, they said, now let's show you all of Kenny Galladay's New York Giants touchdown. And then there was one, and then we said, thanks for watching.
Unbelievable.
Gotta love it.
Hey, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley on the phone with us. We'll talk to him. He's in town.
baby.
He's in town this weekend. Tell you about where you can meet him. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance use disorder. Their podcast, this is the S word. And the S word stands for stigma, because they're trying to destigmatize mental health. So we at WoodwardSports.com, we said we would help them. The NFL Alumni Association does a great job of just having a conversation. When you're not okay, it's okay, but where do you go? TheSportsMA.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Be sure to check on Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. They are the best, so why not give them a try? My man Mark is telling us all the time, and I believe him, so you should too. Swiss Insurance Group. Mark at SwissInsurance.com.
Devon Dudley will join us in 10 minutes. He just had a connection issue, and he will get back with us in 10 minutes. I do want to stick with the NFL and say this much about Daniel Jones wanting $45 million. Good for him. He should try to get it. If he can get it, go get it. You saw what they did to Taylor Lewan, right? When a team is done with you, the team is done with you. So it is a business. You go get your money. If somebody's willing to pay it to you, you go get it.
You got to go get it when somebody's willing to pay it to. Like, you'll never have those opportunities again, man. You got to command what you can command when you command. And right now, Daniel Jones, look, people saw you, what you did last season. They saw you stop turning the ball over. They saw you use your legs a lot. Saw you even throw the ball a little bit better. Saw you get into the playoff under Brian Daboll. They saw it. So you know what? Make them pay.
Taylor Lewan's stuff was at his home in garbage bags. So I guess that's how they do it, Bray. I guess you said when you left Cleveland, you basically left all your crap behind, and you didn't give a damn what you left behind.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how his situation played out. I don't know, like, the beef, and they didn't sign him back, and maybe there was some beef there, and he just didn't go to the facility, and they threw his stuff here like this. Mine was similar the other day. The Cleveland Browns, they traded me. They gave me an opportunity to go to New York Jets. I thanked them for the opportunity. I saw no looking back. There was no reason to grab anything out of that Cleveland Browns locker room, except my Sony Vaio. Hey, shout out to my aunt-in-law. She picked it up.
Last year, Davis Webb was a backup quarterback. I think he was a backup.
Davis Webb.
I think he was a backup for the Giants. He's 28 years old. Do you know what he is now? He is the Broncos quarterback coach. He is going to coach Russell Wilson. 34-year-old Russell Wilson is going to get coached by 28-year-old Davis Webb.
What's the difference between that and how old was what's his nuts when he became the head coach of the
Sean McVay?
Sean McVay.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, I mean,
I guess so.
It's just.
But this kid is literally coming off the field and just going to a team, and he's a coach.
That's
and he's
tough.
coaching Russell Wilson.
That's tough because of who he's coaching. I agree with Maz on that. There are some young guys. I mean, shoot, you know, I've played for some young wide receivers that were, you know, kind of neck and neck with me. But you're talking about a guy that's been in 2 Super Bowls, a guy that's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, a guy that we already know to be a little different around that facility. If I'm Sean Payton, I'm not hiring this young guy as his quarterback, although he'll probably be spending most of his time with Sean anyway.
Boom. You just said it. His quarterback coach is Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Davis
that
Webb,
makes sense. Yeah.
Davis Webb is along for the ride.
True.
Davis Webb
he's getting some on-the-job experience.
He's learning. He is getting on-the-job training experience. When Sean McVay has to do other things in the head coaching realm,
he'll catch passes from Russell Wilson.
There you go. So make no mistake
about
that.
By the way, Booner, our boy Booner, the Booner Sports Show put out that Taylor Lewan he asked the Titans to deliver his stuff. He needed something from he said, no hard feelings, just deliver my stuff.
He did put out a video on Twitter with his kid in the backseat of a car saying, don't overreact to the situation, yada, yada. But nonetheless, well, if that's the case, why did you post it? The first video? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Taylor Lewan posted
the garbage bag.
The garbage bag first.
Yeah. So
somebody hit him up. Yeah. So that's not a good look.
Like the neighbor didn't walk over and take a picture of that. That was Taylor Lewan.
We are sure that he did that, right?
Yes.
Can we go back to Davis Webb for a second? See, this is how these quarterbacks, these is how these players become offensive coordinators and you look up in their head coaches. Like, just think about the process now for him. He just came off the field. He's 29 years old. He was a backup quarterback for the New York Giants. Now he's walking into a QB situation. He's not going to be coaching Russell Wilson at all. And then he's gaining QB coaching titles, 2 years, his 3 years experience. Now he becomes the offensive coordinator. Now he's somebody's head coach. This is how it happens, people. This is how it happens.
Hey, let me say this too about Lamar Jackson, because I think it's pretty important. Tuesday is the day that they either have to reach a long-term contract with him or franchise tag him. They have
exclusive franchise tag or the other one.
Or the regular franchise
Which
tag.
means the team could come in, outbid you, and give you a first-round draft pick for him.
Yes.
Right.
If you don't want to match it.
Right.
So regular franchise tag, $35 million, and another team can negotiate a contract with him. The Ravens would have an opportunity to match. If they don't match, the Ravens get 2 first-round picks if they lose Lamar Jackson. The exclusive franchise tag would be if Lamar Jackson can only negotiate with the Baltimore Ravens, and then of course
that tag's
he'd
higher.
get $45 million.
45, yeah.
But we have a guest on the line right now. He is WWE Hall of Famer Devon Dudley in town. Yes, Astronomicon 6. It continues its star-studded lineup Friday through Sunday this weekend in Taylor. Burton Manor located in Livonia on Schoolcraft. Devon, how are you, my friend?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good.
Devon, we're doing good over here, man. Braylon Edwards here, former wide receiver, but bigger WWE and wrestling fan. All the different brands. Can't wait to have you on the show. I mean, glad to have you here. Glad to have you in Detroit. Sorry it's snowing, though.
Yeah, I live in Florida, so you can believe that I'm not happy getting off the plane and seeing all this damn white snow.
Yeah, no, this isn't good at all. So shout out to having you on the show for the first time, man. Congratulations on making the Hall of Fame. Definitely a WWE Hall of Fame career to remember. Talk to me about what it was like debuting in 1991.
What year did you say?
91. 91.
It was 92.
92, excuse me.
I mean, it was a childhood dream, you know. I basically wanted to be a wrestler my whole life. As a little kid, followed Hulk Hogan during the whole Hulkamania bit. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, so wrestling was huge in New York. And, you know, I enjoyed myself watching it and said, you know, one day I'm going to be a wrestler.
Man.
And, of course, I've had people tell me I was lying and that I was, you know, full of crap. I'm living in a fantasy world. Well, those same people that said that basically were asking for autographs for their kids.
That's what I'm talking about. There's pictures of you guys when you were younger in front rows at a Madison Square Garden. I believe I've seen some of these pictures. They've shown you in the audience when you were a lot younger than when you debuted, so that definitely was cool. Talk to me, one of the biggest moments as a wrestling fan of my career, one of the biggest things that I saw that just kind of transformed wrestling was tables, ladders, and chairs, and that definitely to me was a product of you and Bubba. Talk about 2000 SummerSlam, how you guys just completely changed the game with Edge, Christian, as well as Matt and Jeff.
Well, we had no idea what we were up against. We just wanted to be able to compete with guys like The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, and Big Show at the time. We always like to say, or Bubba, I should say, always like to say that Vince didn't know what he had. He threw shit against the wall and see if it stuck, and it stuck. So it was one of those things where, we were just hoping to hit a home run out the box just to be relevant. We all knew going into that WrestleMania, it wasn't a TLC match, it was called a ladder match, but it should have been a TLC match. We just knew that we had to prove a point and to prove that we belonged. And I think after that match, we certainly proved that.
Devon, it was such a special connection that the Dudley boys had with each other and had with the fans of WWE, and of course, ECW, really where it picked up, TNA. Wherever you guys were, you had such a special connection to the fans. What is that like today when you go to these events? The event today and this weekend at Burton Manor in Livonia. What are some of the things that people talk to you about? What do they want to hear from you? What do they ask you mainly?
Well, I think mostly it's about the TLC matches. It's been almost 30 years since that match has taken place, and people still talk about it to this day. So that means we did something right. Especially for the new generation, who half of them weren't even born when we did that match, but yet they watch it on, where it used to be the WWE Network.
Yeah.
They watch it on Peacock. They can, pull it up on YouTube now and just watch all of that. So it's a different time, a different era, but yet, again, they sit there. The most talked about match is the TLC match. I mean, you got to think about it also. The WWE, it was so big that WWE made a pay-per-view out of it.
Yeah. That definitely was next on my list. You're 100% correct, man. The match was amazing. I could just imagine Edge with the spear at the end of it. But just what you guys did, you guys bring it in. I still remember you guys' first match with the WWE brand. But talk about it from this standpoint. Devon, when you were following wrestling, I'm just putting some things out there right now. When you're following wrestling, were you ever just like a singles guy? You say you were following Hulk Hogan. Like, everybody seems like they probably want to be the world heavyweight title. Like, you wanted to be the guy, the singles guy. But you've had one of the most iconic runs in WWE resume as a doubles with Bubba Dudley. Tell me how iconic it was, and was this always the vision, or did it mature into this?
It matured into it because I did not want to be a tag team wrestler. Bubba did, though, when he first started. He wanted to be a tag team wrestler. I didn't. I actually wanted to be that singles wrestler. I wanted to be the Black Hulk Hogan. That was my thing, and I said that at my Hall of Fame speech. It was just one of those things where Hulkamania in New York was so big, the WWE was so big, that to me, I was mesmerized as a kid. And I wasn't even supposed to be wrestling. I was supposed to play football. I had a 4-year scholarship to Florida A&M, and I passed it up. Yeah. Yep, I passed it up to do wrestling. That's how, involved I was with. That's how involved I was with wrestling. It was one of those things where I just didn't see anything else but wrestling. So by the time my senior year came around, I basically had a choice: either a scholarship or go to Johnny Rod's school in Brooklyn, New York. And I chose Johnny Rod's school.
Devon, I got a big question. Now, obviously, there's been an evolution in WWE as it relates to how the product is. When I was younger, the product was better, and that's because for me it was the promos. It was all about the promos, and it was what you can do. Do you know, is it the promos now that lack, or is it what you're allowed to do in terms of PG, and you can't be as wild as you see back in the day? Is that what the problem is with the brand now versus then?
Well, I think yes. I think a lot of times the fans of yesterday would love to see the Attitude Era come back, and I think everybody says that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I think what a lot of people got to understand is you can't bring it back to that day and era.
That's just like I bring up this analogy all the time. That's like I heard Eddie Murphy. You know, when he did the Monday, when he did Raw, Eddie Murphy's Raw, the comedy thing.
Oh, right.
He did back in the '80s. You know, it was like, forget it. It was a cult following at one point with that because it was so damn good. And then they were talking about redoing it again. Netflix was talking about paying them like a huge amount of money to go and do that stand-up comedy again. But the thing is, you can't. Different time, different era. People have changed. Yeah. Dave Chappelle went up there and did a stand-up comedy routine. Right, and that's exactly what it is. You can't get away with the stuff that you used to get away with back then. And David Chappelle did a stand-up comedy routine, and freaking, you had all these people, you know, bitching and complaining about it. Oh, he can't say things like that. He can't do that. Why would he say that? It's comedy, people. Relax. Yeah. Get your pennies out of your ass.
Tell him again. Amen to that. Tell him.
You know, I mean, damn, it's not like you be taking it seriously, you know, and that's the thing. And they do this. So in my opinion, can Eddie Murphy do that again? No. I wouldn't like to see Eddie Murphy do it again. I would like for him not to do the Raw show again and just live off of what he did in the past, because he can't do anything. That's just like the same thing with the Attitude Era. You can't bring it back. You'd have too many people. Remember, back then we had people protesting outside. Not enough to shut down the show, but we had protesters. If you imagine what we would have now.
Oh God!
Ah, man, police.
Hey, Devon, just last question for you. I'm just curious. You know, growing up a Hulk Hogan fan, what was your first interaction like with him as a contemporary? Was he cool? What was that whole thing like? The first meeting with Hulk Hogan.
Well, I'll never forget it. I was in Milwaukee when I met him. That was when the NWO debuted, and Vince was talking about, you know, injecting. He was going to destroy the WWE by injecting the NWO. That whole promo that he did. And I remember me and Bubba were driving to the building. And he said, you know, your boy's going to be there today, right? And I go, come on, my boy. He goes, Hogan. NWO coming in there. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. So I remember we pulled up to the building. We got out the car. We started walking into the Staples Center. And sure enough, as I'm walking into the building up the ramp, here comes Hogan. I kind of went back into the car. I actually forgot something. I got nervous.
Yo, I love the honesty.
I'm not listen. Now I'm too old to be sitting up here lying now. So
I love
I got nervous and I went back to the car. I act like I forgot something. Bubba goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I forgot my bag." He goes, "Devon, you're pulling your bag." I go, "No, there was another." He goes, "There's another." I go, "There's another bag in the car." He goes, "Devon, if you're scared, say you're scared." I said, "F you, man. I ain't scared." I said, "What would I be scared of?" He goes, "You saw Hogan. You got nervous."
He calls you out.
Yeah, there you go. You became a bitch.
Was he cool to you when you ultimately met him, or was he kind of standoffish? What was it like?
No, he was very, very cool. You know, I walked up to him. I walked up to Kevin and Scott first. I knew them prior to, so I met them, and so finally I got to introduce myself to Hogan, and I went, "Mr. Hogan," I was like, "How you doing?" "I'm Devon." He goes, "Devon, get the tables. My son loves you."
Oh my God!
And
that's how I was gonna end it.
Right there, that broke the ice, and that made everything really, really cool from that point on.
How great
that
is
made
that?
Really cool.
Unbelievable.
And then, like, what was it? 25 minutes later, we're in the locker room, and I had already put my bag in there. I guess Hogan was in the office talking to Vince, trying to decide what was going to happen for that night. And then he got done with Vince, came into the locker room, sat his bag next to mine, and was sitting right next to me in the locker room. So I'm sitting up there going, if somebody would have told me this 20 years ago, I'd have called him a liar.
I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Goosebumps just thinking about it. That is how dreams are made. I love that when a kid has a dream and he realizes that dream only to become a Hall of Famer
past
himself.
That dream.
Absolutely.
The great part about it was, we're in the locker room, we're sitting down, he comes, he's talking to me, and he goes, "Man," he goes, 25, 30 years ago, the Wild Samoans would have been playing cards with Andre sitting right there. Morocco's warming up over there.
Ooh.
Steamboat, Savage. He starts naming stuff, and I'm marking out inside. I'm marking out because I was a huge fan of everybody he just said. So it was one of those things I was like, yeah. He's actually picturing where everybody would have been if they were here today. And what they were doing.
Unbelievable. Hey, Devon, we can't thank you enough. We hope you get a good crowd out there. Astronomicon 6. It continues this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at Burton Manor on Schoolcraft in Livonia. Rikishi, Trish Stratus, John Lovitz, just some of the names.
Darren McCarty.
Darren McCarty.
It's not far from the
That's
crib.
right, just some of the names that are going to be out there. Thanks so much, Devon. All the best. Can't thank you enough for joining us. We got to get to a break, but first a message from the Folding Warehouse.
Oh, yeah, the Folding Warehouse. Devon would kill it at the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. 2 ways to play it: $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. You get it for 2 hours and $120, but you can put 10 or 12 people on a lane. You can do the math, less than $10 a head on that one. Any drink you want, multiple full bars, and over 100 beers on that beer menu. The $2 mystery beer machine is available as well. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. Get your fold on at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Now is the best time to join Planet Fitness. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. With tons of equipment, a full body workout in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. The best part about all this, you get it all just for $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10 a month. Planet Fitness has more than 50 convenient locations around the Metro Detroit area, so no matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness nearby. Join in club or always check them out online at planetfitness.com.
How great is that? We're coming up against it here, Bray, but I mean, Devon Dudley to grow up. If you have a dream and the desire and the will, and Maz, you had mentioned it earlier, just go for it, man.
Yeah. You got nothing to lose.
What's the worst thing that can happen? You fail?
Yeah.
And what?
You do something else.
I was talking to some kids yesterday,
Then you
man.
change course.
Yeah.
Remember I told you I was talking to kids yesterday, Wayne Community College over there, also with Michigan State Troopers, that event that they did, and they just told them, it's like, hey, man, just don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail and fail often, man. You know, like, the circumstances it took for you to be here. You know how many, like, the circumstances you, out of the 100 trillions that did not make it, you're here, you're breathing. Man, go get it. I love when you hear, like cats that we look at as OGs, like Devon and something, and then they tell you their wishes or their dreams when they were youths. Like, that's dope.
You know who's going for it right now?
DJ Turner.
Woo. Michigan defensive back. Braylon even mentioned he was benched as a wide receiver. Well, he just ran a 4.27 at the combine.
Yikes!
A 4.27.
You asked what the difference was yesterday between 4.3 and 4.4, and I said it was maybe 14. 4.27, he's already in Pontiac.
Holy
God. Hey, Braylon, you know about this stuff. Let me just...
I ain't never ran 4.27.
Speed training.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. How much can you really gain in speed? Like, everybody's trying to be faster. How much does the training actually help? Whether it's all these high school kids, all the college kids, pros, do you... Like, how much could it shave off of 40 or just speed in general?
You don't have a lot of time, especially if you're a team that's going to a playoff or you're going to a January 1st bowl. You're playing all the way until then you're waiting to leave the program. So let's just assume your window is December. Let's just assume you're December to when you run the combine. If you're someone that never has ran track, never done speed training, never done drill training, maybe you can shave off 0.2 of a second, maybe I would say maybe the most is about 5/10 because it's technique. 5/10 is
okay.
good.
I'm 5'2", like 5'2", 40. Let's say you're just you're not fast at all.
You go 4.15. Or you 5'10", you go to 4'8".
You can go to 4'8".
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's technique.
So it's worth it.
It's work. But the problem is, the biggest problem with it, it's not the technique and it's not the teaching it, Ryan. It's how do these kids feel when the season's over? Because it's not like the NFL where season's over, you got a ton of time to train before, OTAs. As soon as the season's over, Ryan, you got to start training. If you were banged up last season, etc., it sucks getting ready for the combine.
Love you guys. Want to let you know again, if you listen to us via podcast, if you don't, if you could subscribe to Woodward Sports Network, if you subscribe to our podcast, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Apple, Google, wherever you get your podcast, subscribe to our show, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. And if you could leave us a 5-star review, that's great. But we'll take the subscription nonetheless. Thanks so much, Bray. Get us out of here. Maz, love you. JB, Fletch,
have a great weekend,
but
guys.
I want Braylon to get us out of here today, as he always does.
Hell of a week by everybody. Appreciate you guys. WSN chat, we appreciate you guys. You guys have been on fire. We're changing the content up a little bit. Seems like you guys like it, so we'll keep going with it. Hey, and by the way, stay safe today. Look like it's snowing, like it's wet, but once again, I don't think we'll see all that they said we will. So have a safe weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Braylon the weatherman now.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do my thing a little bit, man. We'll see you guys later.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.